What is up, CineNerds? Ryan here.
And then JP Cross here.
He's getting really into JP Cross. It's like almost like he's going for I'm Zoolander. This is my blue steel,
This
or
is
Magnum.
going for my Steve McQueen.
Oh, okay, all right. Steve McQueen, it is. Well, this week, JP chose. We kind of needed to throw an extra movie in here. We're trying to kind of get some recordings out of the way before JP gets ready to go on tour, and we decided to throw in My Name is Bruce. This is one of JP's picks. He gave me a list of movies to choose from, and I thought, why not? Because I had never seen this. I've been trying to go for whenever JP sends me movies, selecting one that I have not seen, and hadn't seen this one yet. And I know why I haven't seen this, but it was not as bad as I anticipated. I'll say that.
And this is directed by Bruce Campbell.
It's very evident. Listen, I'll just preface this. Okay, this is so initial impression. We'll go into this. Bruce Campbell, if you're not familiar with Bruce Campbell, if you haven't seen Evil Dead, if you haven't seen Army of Darkness, if you haven't seen any of the magic that is Bruce Campbell, and you were to watch My Name is Bruce, you'd be like, what the fuck is this piece of garbage? Like, you would not know, and it wouldn't mean anything to you. But those of us who are, loyal followers of Mr. Campbell, this is exquisite. And I say that because I mean that in the sense that it's just stupid fun. There's even one moment where I don't remember what it was. I don't remember who he was. He was like screaming at someone. Maybe it was the phone. Maybe it was something in his trailer. And he made a face, and the side profile reminded me of Evil Dead 2 and the silliness of when he's trying to like pull when Evil Dead and he's pulling the twin away from him when they're like stretching apart. And I love that moment because it went back. It took us back for a second, and it gave me that old school Bruce Campbell feel. So I appreciated this movie. This is one of those movies I can tell JP that yes, this movie's dumb as hell, but I can also tell you I thoroughly enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah, if you're not a Bruce Campbell fan and you're not and you don't know a lot of his films, you're probably not going to like this film
No.
because you're not going to understand this film. Um that being said, now I'm trying to pull this up. Did you look at the writer for this film?
No, but I've got it pulled up, so give me a sec here.
Okay, so I've got it right here. I had to pull him up. So his name is, and I'm going to butcher his last name, but Mark Ver he is
Hayden.
Hayden.
It's Verheiden.
Verheiden. Mark Verheiden. This guy's
Oh,
this guy's writing catalog is fucking amazing. Not only did he write the Swamp Thing TV series, which was amazing. He was the showrunner for the third season of Ash vs. Evil Dead. He's wrote a lot of the episodes for the Daredevil series, Constantine series, Hemlock Grove. He wrote a lot of her Heroes. He's wrote a lot for Smallville, but even more so than that, he wrote the greatest time travel movie ever.
oh my God.
He wrote Time Cop.
I'm not. I disagree with that completely. But it's a good movie. But I disagree with greatest ever.
It's the greatest
Now,
time travel movie ever.
now
Time
let's
Cop.
let's rewind here. You said something pivotal for me. Hemlock Grove. Not many people know about the show. This show was a spectacular show. And for me, this was my first introduction to Mr. Bill Skarsgård. You guys know him as Pennywise, and he was in this show alongside of and I forgive me, I don't remember the actress's name, but she was Jean Grey in X-Men. She played his mother, and there's so much going on. There's vampires, there's werewolves, there's just awesomeness in this show, and it's dark, and you have so many questions, and the episodes lead to more questions, and this one was cut short before its time too, and so I just point that out because it's a damn good show.
Yeah, and Swamp Thing. If you've never watched the live action Swamp Thing TV series that came out in the late 2010s, that Swamp Thing series was incredible. Like some of the best DC stuff we've had was in that Swamp Thing series. So if you never watched that, that one was so good.
I will also note that I think I don't know if you said this one, but it's kind of obvious. But he wrote Ash vs. Evil Dead. Uh,
He was the showrunner for the whole last final season.
so that I feel was far superior to this. That was so. It's interesting that we're talking about this topic because I saw someone recently. It was like a Bruce Campbell fan page or something, and it was put your rankings of the Evil Dead movies in order of where you'd put them all of them together, put them in there. And I just started reading through the comments. You know, we all have our own list, but I started reading through the comments and the amount of people who really hate on Ash versus the Evil Dead. I'm surprised people really didn't care for it. I liked it.
I actually put Ash versus Evil Dead ahead of of the movies. I love the series so much. I put it ahead of the movies.
I won't go there, but it's fucking good.
Maybe not Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, I
I'll
was gonna
give you
say.
that. Maybe not Evil Dead 2, but it is better than Evil Dead. It is better than Army of Darkness. And we're not even counting the remake and the whatever else we're right now.
Oh,
So
I count remake and rise, but and I count remake for this reason. I have a parallel universe in my head where female Ash meets regular Ash and they fight the Deadites together. So parallel universe ideas and all that. So I thought that could have been done well. Now that aside, I love Rise, and that's why I'm shocked that you love Ash vs. the Evil Dead because of how Ash vs. the Evil Dead ended. This makes total sense, and it goes into Burn even. It brings it out into the world. So this
but this also leads up to the alternate ending in Army of Darkness. So did you ever see
uh,
that alternate ending?
no, maybe.
There's the alternate ending of Army of Darkness. Ash uses too many of the drops and he sleeps too long to wake up to a post-apocalyptic world.
I think I remember hearing about it, but I haven't seen it. I'm gonna have to go venture
Yeah,
to YouTube and check that
yeah.
out.
I've got it on. Uh, it was originally put out on the bootleg edition of Army of Darkness, which was it was official version. It was just called the bootleg edition, and now like I can't remember if it's the 4K or the blue one of the Blu-rays actually has multiple versions of Army of Darkness. It has like the theatrical, the I think the TV version, and then the bootleg edition. And the bootleg edition, obviously, it has that it runs with that alternate ending. So and that was the original ending that Sam Raimi wanted. Was he wanted him to wake up in a post-apocalyptic world, overran by demons.
Well, that's why I'm here for the end of Ash vs. the Evil Dead and then going into Rise and Burn personally. So with those as is. But that said, my name is Bruce. This movie, you didn't give your initial impressions? I mean, I'm assuming you loved it. You chose it.
Yeah, this is one I was excited about as soon as I heard that it was being made, and um, I knew, obviously Bruce had directed The Man with the Screaming Brain a couple years before this, and then I knew he was directing this, and so when this finally came out on DVD at the time, I think day one I had bought it and took it home, watched it, uh, and just fucking loved this film, and I loved it for the nostalgia, the Bruce Campbell nostalgia, and that's the only people that are going to like this film.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's not going to say that it's a great film. We're going to dive into that, but this film is made for Bruce Campbell fans.
So right off the rip too, I do want to note that I feel like Bruce Campbell well ahead of the fucking curve here. Well ahead of the curve. Cuz a different actor that JP idolizes made a very similar movie years later with Pedro Pascal called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. And it's kind of that vein except there's a real monster going on here, but there's still a lot of
Yeah.
similarities start to
Yeah.
finish here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is a complete ripoff of My Name is Bruce.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously better quality and bigger budget, but this was done first. This was I mean, are there other movies that could have done this prior about a actor owning his own current situation and running with it and kind of making fun of himself. There's not a lot out there if there is. This is the one. This one, after watching this, I was like, well, they just ripped him off.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm here for this. I like this. I like where actors can step into a role comfortably, making fun of themselves, owning the cheesy moments they've had, and then
Mhm.
move forward. I mean, then you've got actors like Ryan Reynolds, who he tries to pretend like he never made shitty films, and he's got quite a few.
Yeah, and he should be embracing them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh, so to give a quick overview of this film is Bruce Campbell plays Bruce Campbell. He's playing himself, and there is a group of teens that accidentally release a Oriental Asian demon ghost, god,
Chinese deity, Guandi.
Guandi deity. That's the word. Uh, and he is the protector of Bean Curd, and he goes on a killing spree. So the main kid is obsessed with Bruce Campbell. So he has the idea that I'll go get Bruce Campbell because that's Ash Williams and he can take care of Guandi for the town and save us all. And so he goes and kidnaps Bruce Campbell, and Bruce Campbell thinks he's in a movie for the first little bit of this film. And
Well, I was gonna say Ted Raimi has a special place throughout most of this film in multiple roles, which is kind of hilarious.
yeah.
And Ted Raimi is his agent, and his agent's like, "I got something special for you for your birthday."
Mhm.
And the kid doesn't. I don't think the kid correlates it as his birthday. The kid just wants Bruce to come save the day in his town where this Guandi is running around. And
Yeah.
so the kid knocks him over the head of the baseball bat, and then he lures him with a quarter, mind you.
Yeah.
So he bends over to pick up this quarter. He knocks him over the head of the baseball bat, puts him in his trunk, and Ash wakes up in the trunk going to this town. And he's literally, but Ash thinks, or sorry, Ash, I keep saying that. Bruce keeps thinking that this is his birthday present. This town
Mhm.
he's been brought to, he thinks these are all staged actors. This is all part of the script. This is the birthday gift from his agent. Nope.
Yeah. And it escalates from there. Bruce finds out that Guandi is really a deity that is killing them, and so he runs away like a coward because he's an actor. He's not actually Ash Williams. But then he does
He isn't?
he does what's right and comes back when he finds out the kid's in trouble and finishes out, heroically. So that's kind of the plot of the movie. There's a lot of cameos, like you just said, with Ted Raimi playing multiple roles. You also got Cheryl, his sister from the original Evil Dead. You got one of the guys from Evil Dead 2. You've got the blacksmith from Army of Darkness. There's a lot of it was almost like he just took a group of his friends from all the Evil Dead and Army of Darkness movies and said, "Hey, here, let's do this. Let's do this film."
And it worked. Uh, I just was impressed more than anything with the Ted Raimi character. Now, I do like the other supporting characters. I like the two tough kind of redneck guys who were
The
a
bl-
couple.
Yeah, and that was the one guy from the Evil Dead 2 and the blacksmith
Right,
from Army of Darkness.
right.
And
That was comedic because they're sitting at the bar at one point, and he's like, "Are you okay, honey?" Like, it was
yeah,
just kind of a cool little banter scene, I guess. But I didn't expect the main woman, the mother of the fanboy. I didn't expect her. She grew on me, I guess, through the film because I was like, "This is the lead actress." At first, and you see her sitting down,
so I
and
was I was looked at her IMDb because she's really not done much of anything, and then I saw how old she was, and then I did the timeline of how old she would have been when this film was made, and I was like, she wasn't old enough to have a kid that old because she was born in 1982. This was filmed in 2009, and this kid is 18, 19 years old. And I was like, if she had this kid, she was like 10 when she had this kid.
never know.
The world we live in, maybe. But so she was young, and she actually did not look that young in the film, I don't think.
Oh
But
yeah.
when I looked at her IMDb, I was shocked at how young she was when she actually filmed this movie. Um, so it kind of took me back for a minute. I was like,
I mean,
that's
she was
a
30 when they filmed.
should have been uh
But that still would have put her at like 12 having this kid.
should have been like
Well, you said 89, 99,
25,
2009.
should have been 25, 26.
Huh? Didn't you say she was born in 89?
82.
Oh, 82. Okay. Well, that makes her older.
How does it make she's like 26.
She's 36. You're mathing wrong, buddy.
Am I mathing wrong?
You're mathing wrong. Because 89.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No, am I mathing wrong?
You're mathing wrong.
Fuck.
So 2009 minus 1982 puts her at 27. And actually, the film was made in 2008 and released in 2009. So she would have been 26.
I mean, 26, 30. I'm good. That's all the same ballpark.
Well, she definitely wasn't 36.
No, but that's why I went backwards because in my mind I was already putting her at 30, and then you said 82. I'm like, wait a minute. So now we got 7 more years here. What's going on?
So this opening scene, I want to talk about this opening scene a little bit because it starts with the Bruce Campbell superfan, the main kid, and his friend. They're going to a graveyard to meet these goth girls to, pick up these chicks in the graveyard. And his friend is mocking him for all the movies that he has in his car, and they're all Bruce Campbell movies. And he's like, "Oh, Bruce Campbell's the worst actor ever." And he is a movie Cave Alien and Alien, blah blah blah. What are these movies? He's such a horrible actor. And he literally stops the car and he's like, "Don't you ever say this about Bruce. Bruce is the greatest actor of all time," and blah blah blah.
Get
And
out and walk.
yeah, he's like, "Get out and walk." He's like, "Oh, no, calm down, calm down." Oh, I kind of like Bubba Hotep. And he goes, "Everybody likes Bubba Hotep." And I wrote that. Everyone likes Bubba Hotep. And
False.
I specifically wrote this because I know for a fact that Ryan hates Bubba Hotep.
Fake news. Fake news. It's all fake news.
However, Bubba Hotep is amazing.
You know, I just distinctly, that's a one-time watch for me. I almost turned it off because I was so put off by it. I watched it at a different period in my life, so I'm debating because of everyone saying how much they love it. Literally, I'm debating giving it another go, but I couldn't stand it when I saw it the first time.
And it's a Don Coscarelli film. And I mean, you've enjoyed a lot of Don Coscarelli films.
Yeah, but it's not. It's this movie was not good. Bubba Hotep.
I mean, for a Don Coscarelli film, it is not John dies at the end. I'll give you that. But it's a good film. It's a good Bruce Campbell film.
Sure thing, JP.
And the kids' pickup lines when they do get to the graveyard, the main kids' pickup lines are nothing but straight up sexist Bruce Campbell pickup lines.
Mm.
Did you catch that?
Yeah. I mean, most of this movie is like sexist as hell because Bruce is being Bruce.
Yeah, but the kid was doing this. He
Yeah.
he'd learned how to talk to women by watching Bruce Campbell films.
Which is funny because the kid was making notes to that, and the kid that was in his passenger seat, he was like, "It's like girls don't like this crap, man," and when he's saying that, the kid's just getting destroyed. He's just sitting there like, "What do you mean?" Like he just has this look on his face too. But no, it makes sense. He's a fanboy, and to the point of his fanboy issues, I was crawling in my skin when mom, and I'm getting ahead here a little bit, but just to point it out, mom's burning his collection at one point, and he's throwing figures into the fire, and one of them I had, and I'm like, wait, don't do it. So,
And I like all that Bruce Campbell memorabilia was from, like Bruce Campbell's private collection.
I mean, if he didn't write it, but if he directed it and he was that vested in it, then that makes sense.
Yeah. I read that all that was like part of his private collection, and the most of this film, especially like all the outside stuff, and was built on his property. Like they built like framed out like the shops and stuff, and like all the stuff in the woods and all this stuff was actually shot on Bruce Campbell's property.
Yeah, the trailer thing. Like what is with trailers and him?
So I actually, I think it's actually I had to put, is the trailer really Bruce's house? It's the same as Ash versus Evil Dead a
Yep.
decade earlier. That was what I wrote in my notes. Like, is does Bruce own like a lot of land and he don't have a home on it? He just lives in this little mobile home and he just wheels it around and gets in and out of it in all of his films.
I mean, that's what it felt like. So I was like, I was literally, and the best part is, per Bruce Campbell, the smut magazines are laying everywhere and in his mailbox.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a big note of mine. I was like, does this guy really live? Does do I feel bad for Bruce? Is this where he lives? Does he really live in this trailer? Because
He's a,
that trailer has been in more than this movie.
after he leaves the strip club from hanging out with Ted Raimi, the agent, and he goes back to the trailer for the first time, I was like, oh, another fucking trailer. And that's the first thing I said. Then he goes inside and he literally fills the entire dog dish for the dog with whiskey, or I think it's whiskey or rum or something. And the dog comes over and starts drinking it. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? And this dog just hates him the whole time. Every time he goes, says anything to the dog just growls at him.
Well, he ends up calling his Cheryl, his ex-wife. His Cheryl plays his ex-wife in this, and he gets upset. And you find out that Ted Raimi and Cheryl are an item, his
Yeah,
agent.
his agent and his ex-wife.
And so he goes on it. He starts grabbing every bottle and is drinking all the liquor out of every bottle left in his house. And then he looks at the dog bowl and he picks the dog bowl up just like Army of Darkness with the tea kettle. Like, how about some hot chocolate? But he's like pouring the liquor out of the dog bowl into his mouth like he did in Army of Darkness, which it's just all these little nods
Yeah, little
throughout this
throwbacks and
whole
stuff.
film.
So I have to ask you a question because I don't know. I thought it was just for this movie, but is cave alien really a thing?
I do not think, to my knowledge, Cave Alien is not an actual movie, but they did name a couple of like low budget films that was real. Like there was one that was called. Da, 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 da. It might take me a minute, but Cave Alien I do not believe is a real one. But there was one that it was something alien that came out in the mid 2000s.
I mean, I know most of his films, but like it was kind of so I guess I'm kind of asking because like I didn't know if maybe it was a film that was another high school project because he references the first film he worked on that gave him the itch for acting and I didn't know if maybe that was a thing.
Alien Apocalypse. Alien Apocalypse is mentioned, and it was like I think a made for sci-fi TV movie. Like so, like there was some of these. I think Terminal Invasion may have been mentioned. There was some of these lower budget films that were mentioned, but Cave Alien, no, is not actually a real movie. But I would watch it based off what little I saw them filming it.
Yeah, it's something up your alley. My other question was the director who was directing Cave Alien. I didn't know what if he had a nod for something, if he was brought in from something previous.
I didn't look him up, and I'm not even sure who
Well,
played that.
with the exception of like three other actors on IMDb, all the profiles are empty. Like
Yeah,
some of
yeah,
these are really unknowns.
yeah. Even the main kid, like this is like the only thing he ever did.
He looks familiar too,
I
but I
know,
think
and
it's
he looks familiar, but like he was in nothing else.
but do you know what he looks like when he has his hair on and the spikes up and everything? He looks like the neighbor animation kid in Toy Story who destroys the toys. Buzz.
Spike or
Is it
Buzz,
Buzz?
Spike is a
Yeah.
Buzz or Spike or something. Yeah, something like that.
Um, yeah, and you said Spike. That just got me heated. So I think it was. I don't know if we talked about it on the Gremlins episode, but there's a Mandela effect between Spike
Stripe
and
and Spike.
Stripe and Gremlins because
Yeah,
somebody. I think Rick pointed it out with the when we were talking about the car. But I Dude, that's fucking Spike. I don't care.
Stripe.
I don't think that's so fucking.
I own the Fuggler, and the Fuggler's name is Stripe.
Well, yeah. See, if Mandela effect is what it is, then everything else is gonna say, yeah, no.
So this is a serious question. Is it racially offensive to have Ted Raimi dressed as an Asian man?
I thought the same freaking thing, and I'll further that. Also, acting as a French person, a French painter. Like I was like, oh, we're crossing some lines here with Ted Raimi.
It was it was straight up like typical like 80s 1980s how portrayal of Asian people with Ted
Well,
Raimi, a white man dressed as an Asian man
it was
doing
just
the bit.
it was just as awkward as people are complaining about A Christmas Story with the singing scene in the Chinese restaurant when he was doing the letter replacement and he was saying the word with the R. I was dying. I was like, oh my god. And you know what? And to that point though, that's the thing about this film is, yes, that moment could probably be racially insensitive, but at the same token, this is supposed to be a silly, just fun movie. It's not supposed to be anything serious, and anyone shouldn't take it that serious.
No, and I didn't take it that serious. I found it hilarious, but there would be a lot of people that would watch this and go, "That's racially inappropriate."
Yeah,
Because it is.
younger people. Yeah, younger people definitely would not do well with that. We'll say.
Um. So the scene with him with the big butch guy that was the blacksmith in Army of Darkness. So he's also the um weapons guy in this
The
film and
gun shop owner.
the gun shop owner, and he is giving Bruce all kinds of different guns. Like, here's a gun for you. Well, I need something bigger. I don't think that's big enough. And he keeps moving on and moving on. Then he ends up settling with a shotgun. But one thing I loved about this scene, the main kid comes up to Bruce and he's like, here, I got this for you. And he has like this super decked out chainsaw.
A custom modified chainsaw, and he thinks Bruce is going to take that to kill the bad guy.
Yeah, and he's like, and Bruce is like, I've killed a lot of zombies and stuff on in a lot of movies with a chainsaw, and he goes, he said the one thing about I've learned
It's
is
too heavy.
chainsaws are just too damn heavy, and does not use the chainsaw in the whole film.
So, at one of the venues I worked at in a former life, the legend, Mr. Campbell, he came through and he did it was an Evil Dead screening. We screened Evil Dead and we did a Bruce Campbell kind of trivia contest, and I got to sit and talk to him for a minute before the show too. Unbelievably kind gentleman. But that said, the one of the VIP packages, and it was $500 a ticket, included your ticket and you get the signed chainsaw. So I had to hunt down 5 chainsaws that were the original brand, and I think it was something light. I forgot something light for the original. I forgot the name of the company, but the company is no longer out there. And so finding these chainsaws was a pain in the ass. So I ended up finding electric corded versions of it. Brought those in though. He signed them all. Took time to talk to these people, and they handed out chainsaws for the VIP. So I had to offer to coat check these items so that obviously chainsaws in people's hands is a bad idea. So we did all that. But that aside, though, Bruce Campbell, nicest dude in the world. So I just find it funny with that chainsaw segment.
I mean, he's got to be pretty humble. I mean, dude still lives in a fucking trailer.
But he's just like, I mean, yeah, fair, very fair. No, but like he embodies the character he's been in the movies. I wish that I had more time to actually get to know the man as a human being though, because I bet none of the groovy shit and none of those things that make him Bruce Campbell are that. He's just a normal dude. But for what he deals with for the fandom, because a lot of these cult classic people and horror fans, they like flock to him. I almost laughed at the sequence where he's coming out of the movie set and he's just handing out his 8x10 photos to everyone because they're flocking at him. He gets that everywhere he goes, whenever he has a bus or car or anything.
I read a trivia fact on this that the guy in the wheelchair that he shoves off that was being a dick to him, he said that that was based on a real experience.
I mean, but here's the thing, it's not just him. Like that happens all the time. And it's in the industry we see them all too often, but they're eBayers. They're the people who piss off all of the artists out there because they know they're just getting things signed to resell them and do their thing. And so these people will come up and like if you misspell something, if you do something wrong, they critique the artist
Mm-hmm.
and then they try and tell them how to do it. It's like, bro, you're lucky you're even here. Like what? Like just be happy you're getting a signature and move on.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's funny that that's an actual story base.
yeah. Well, yeah, and I hate to sit here and say a lot of fans suck, but you get those,
Well,
and I'm not saying that as all fans suck. I appreciate all of our fans, and my fans know, and I hate to say my fans, on here, but fans of what I do outside of the podcast know that I will sign anything. I have went out of my way to walk out of a green room into a parking lot before a show and go out and sign stuff that people have asked me to sign, because a lot of times I don't make myself ready available anymore after shows, just because I'm tired of getting sick. We've talked about this in the past, like because especially COVID. I caught COVID a handful. I've had COVID a handful of times, and it's because after COVID, people would come to these shows sick with COVID, and then I would be on tour with COVID. So I just don't go out into the crowd when I'm on tour anymore until after the show, and usually once the crowd is thinned out, or I might peek around before the show, and I'll go out and sign stuff. But I have no problem signing stuff, but every now and then you get these entitled ones that are and that just like you said they critique, and then they're just jerks about it. Then you get some that will come in with stacks, and I've seen this, and I will not sign these. You know,
eBayers. Yeah.
eBayers, they'll come in with a stack of like pick guards that you can mount on any guitar, and want you to sign like fucking 50 pick guards, and it's like, no, I'll sign one.
Yeah, and like
Yeah,
to
because
me, I
what do you need with 50 pick guards? You're going to sell that.
yep.
No, I'm not doing. I'm not about that. I'll sign one, and that's it. And so, but some of these guys are very entitled with what they expect, and it's
So
disgusting.
I put these guys in the same realm as I'm a JP and I both are toy collectors, and so there were times back in the day before the online ordering got very easy for everyone. There was time back in the day where I would wait outside of a store before it would open to go in and get a Funko Pop, a special release item, something, and I would just try and get because they only get so many of the items. And I can't tell you how many times that like I remember I was third in line and there was only 4 items, and the guy who was fifth back, he started throwing a fit because the kid that was behind me was a kid, and this is a kid's toy at the end of the day.
Hmm.
So you know what I did? I bought two, and I gave one to the kid. Just gave it to the kid. And the dude was like, "How you screwed me over? I don't get one now. This and that." I'm like, "It's not about you. It's about the kid." And the guy kept going and going. And then you know what I did? I gave him mine too, because it's a fucking piece of plastic, and people need to settle
Hmm.
down. I've watched these guys run over kids running in for fucking Pokemon cards and all this other shit. And those are the people who make things toxic. They make things bad.
Yeah.
We call them flippers. And it's the same thing with these eBayers and flippers. They don't get that they're the reasons why artists stop signing things. It's because they're abusing it.
Yeah. And I complain about those all the time because I work in retail. They still come in and
Yeah.
do the same thing. And there was a few years ago, there was a Target exclusive Star Wars figure. They did a Star Wars release on Sunday
I'm
morning,
still here. I'm just filling coffee.
and I had got up early, went to the store. As soon as the store opened, there was one guy in front of me, and we walked in together. And well, he got back to where the display was, before me and literally took a shopping cart and filled everything on that end cap into that cart and walked off in front of me. He saw me literally going to right behind him, going to the end cap, and there was only one figure on the display that I wanted. I don't buy everything. I buy what I want, and I buy one of whatever I want because I don't flip. I buy because I collect. And this guy literally emptied the entire end cap, went up front. I followed him and meat mugged him the whole time. They checked him out. He bought everything on that fucking end cap in front of me, knowing that I showed up there at the same time as him to buy one fucking figure. And those are the people that I absolutely hate. And they'll come in. They'll come into to the store and they'll ask me, "Oh, do you? I'm looking for this. Can you go back and I'll just flat tell them no, because I know which ones are the flippers and I know which ones are the collectors, and I just flat tell them no.
I
I
think
won't
you
help
could
them.
I think you can tell that JP and I are both collectors because we've gone on quite a rant here about this because it is a problem. It really is, and like I respect the stores that put limits on those things. But I digress because what this all started with is Bruce Campbell's humble attitude and his
Mm-hmm.
ability to manage those fans. And I feel like he does a great service to the fans by being humble, by being kind, by signing these things. Because yes, he does the VIP meet and greets. He does the you buy your tickets, you get something signed, a picture with him, all those things. But he also is the guy who will go out and he'll just sign and just be cool with people. And I think I that says a lot about a person's character. But again, there's so many people that test those patients and those limits, and then that stops happening and it gets ruined for others. So if you're one of those people, don't be that person.
So Bruce Campbell finds out that Quan Di is actually a real Chinese deity, and he goes on a killing spree. And he hightails his ass out of there, Bruce Campbell style, making fun of all the inbred rednecks, and on the way out.
He you know he does it with the quickness. He definitely does. He even there's one of the things I have notes on here is he literally carjacks an old lady, gets maybe 10 yards from where he throws her out onto the ground. And we're talking like 80 years old lady, gets 10 yards from where she is. And she's going, my cat. And she's got a cat on the front seat in a little cat carrier. And he tosses it out the window and you just hear, meow. It was such a good, I laughed way too hard at that, more than I should have, because it was a
Yeah,
horrible moment,
it
but it
was
was good.
horrible moment.
But
But
and here's where, when he gets back to the trailer, a prostitute shows up, and the prostitute, a transgender prostitute, not really, but definitely saying she was, and she says that that's the gift from his agent. And so
yeah,
he's like, wait a minute, this is real. And at the same time, homeboy, the kid, calls and starts telling him about, I'm going to take care of it myself. Basically, he's going in and he learned this lesson from him. He's got to handle it himself. And so Bruce actually freaks out and he tells the prostitute, I'll give you $100 if you take me to Gold Lick. I got to say that slow enough so it doesn't come out wrong. So he goes back there to help him, and our bulk of our story unfolds.
mm-hmm.
And this part kind of reminds me of one of JP's favorites, Leprechaun, because as JP mentioned, Guandi is the protector of the bean curd, and the only way to stop him is to throw containers of bean curd at him, and he's stacking it up neatly and nicely to the. I was like, what is going on?
It felt very Leprechaun meets for whatever reason it reminded me of Ernest Scared Stupid as well, like the ending of Ernest Scared Stupid with the milk. Even though they're not catching the milk, it's just I don't know, the whole vibe of it felt like Ernest Ernest movie, but with the leprechaun, the idea of the leprechaun having to catch and clean the shoes. It it's a very
We were
the ending of this film is. I've got
we
some
were
opinions. I've got a lot of opinions on the ending of this film.
we reviewed another film where it was similar, where they had to throw every time they threw something at the monster or creature had stopped and had to take care of it. I can't remember what it was. But if it comes back to me, I'll point it out. But in the interim, go ahead.
Uh, well, yeah, I mean, I just got a lot of opinions of this whole ending. How it's done, how it's shot. I think it's fun. It's a fun ending. I mean, there's a lot that doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, but you're not going to make a lot of sense with a lot of things in this movie. But essentially, just go ahead and get the ending out there. This film is they lure him back into his mine because they had him trapped in a mine, and they blow the mine up, and they dig Bruce Campbell out. They put the thing back on to keep him locked in. Well, immediately Guandi busts back out, and then it goes into like a more of a meta universe with Bruce going, "Oh, well, this is a typical ending, a shock ending. Why can't we have a happy ending?" And then it shows Bruce with the main girl and the kid living a happy family life,
I
and
just got accepted to Harvard.
yeah,
That's the average paid off.
and yeah, and it just this whole ending. How did you feel about this ending?
So it's a Bruce Campbell movie. It's a not serious movie. I like that they played around with different endings and different options here, and I like that there was the agent sitting next to a typical businessman who was making the shots or making the calls, and the agent's like, "Well, what do you think about what he said? Should we have a happy ending?" He's like, "Sure." Like it's just like a one word answer, however he says it, and it was kind of that was kind of a realistic aspect. But outside of that, though, the flip back and forth to what the ending should or shouldn't be was interesting.
So this
I
is this is my problem with this ending. Like, I hate this ending of this movie, and I hate it because it feels like a really bad. Now, hear me out when I say this, and you're going to really understand my feelings on this ending.
no, I'm
It's
not.
a really bad version of Ernest Scared Stupid ending. And I mean, Ernest Scared Stupid, any Ernest movie is dumb. I love them, but it's dumb.
The
So
fact
to
that you
say,
remember this ending and you remember Ernest that much is dumb.
so to say that this is a really bad version of Ernest Scared Stupid's ending, mixed with like a generic made for TV style movie ending. Everything about this ending feels like almost like made for TV. And it bothers me to no end. Like, I actually despise this ending horribly.
Listen, JP, this is where we're talking about that over analyzing things that we shouldn't, excuse me, because if we're getting into semantics, this whole movie bothers me, but I just let myself enjoy it for the stupid that it is. So you should let yourself enjoy the ending for the stupid that it is.
I enjoy the whole movie for the stupid that it is until the ending, and I just hate the ending so much. And it's this is a movie I loved it. I loved this movie when I first saw it. I've loved it the times I've seen it in between, and then rewatching it since it finally came back out onto digital. I have come to realize that I despise the ending of this film with a passion. So,
That is fair.
all right, budget. Do you know what the budget is on this?
I do not.
Okay. Do you want to take a guess?
Well, Bruce Campbell directing, very very simplistic scenery. I'm guessing a lot of these actors did this on a voluntary basis or came back and did something fun for whatever reason. So I'm going very low on this one. I'm gonna say 150K.
Oh, you're way off. So, the estimated budget on this, and Bruce Campbell actually says what the budget is in the movie, because when the kid comes to his door to try to
Oh,
get
the
him to come
million
home,
and a half? Really?
he says, "Well, if you have $1.5 million and a mediocre half kind of star, you might make your money back."
The fuck did they spend $1.5 million
They
on?
spent $1.5 million on this film.
It doesn't show.
No, it,
Like,
it it doesn't.
Holy shit! Like that bothers me because we just talked about what the last one we reviewed, The Ugly Stepsister, did their budget for 5 mil, and you've got quality content out of that. And I understand it's 1.5 million versus 5 mil. That's a lot of
Yeah.
money, but at the same token, I'm just like I see all these micro budgets and small budgets and things, and I feel like there's some movies that have done a lot more with a lot less.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And this was 1.5 million almost 20 years ago, 18 years ago, 16
Yep.
years ago, however long ago it was now.
We're not
I
mathing today, great. So don't
no,
don't
yeah,
don't
so
check
it's
that.
in that realm. So,
Yes.
but shit was cheaper back then. This is 2009. I mean, you just said $5.5 million. Well, a beautifully shot movie we saw last week to 1.5 million for in 2009. You would think with inflation that 1.5 million should be about as much as that 5.5 million today.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I don't see where he had to have pocketed some money to pay for a new trailer or something.
That was it. The new trailer, or he just kept that trailer and cleaned it back up. That's kind of funny.
All right,
Um,
go ahead.
what did it make?
There's no box office.
So it was straight to streaming.
Straight to video. So
Yeah,
I don't.
like this is
I would say this movie he probably made quite a bit on this at the time because it came. This was before streaming, and so I'm sure he got a lot with DVD sales at the time when this came out, just based on his name. Um, I I would venture he probably made. He probably. I'm sure he broke even, maybe if I had to guess, but
if he was lucky.
if he was lucky.
That's what he told the kid.
uh, Reviews. What's you want to go? You want me to go?
All right, I'll dig in. So there's a lot of movies JP throws at me that I'm definitely not a fan of when it comes to these kind of silly, quirky things. I like my horror more straight to the face. This is more comedy all around, start to finish. And knowing that, and knowing Bruce Campbell, I went into this without any kind of a high expectation. I didn't expect it to be so similar to the Weight of Massive Talent movie. I do feel like that definitely ripped off from this concept, but all in all, this movie was just fun. It was just stupid, silly fun. Not anything that like. This is something I would buy for my digital collection, maybe not add to the physical. But it's definitely enjoyable, and I'm a diehard Bruce Campbell fan, so I'm here for it. All in all, though, it's not an amazing rating. I'll just go. Let's go 2.75 CineNerds for me.
Oh, you getting into those decimals now.
I figure I'll do 3/4. I'll do quarter marks. I'm not going to do the anything beyond that.
Okay, so yeah, the thing I love this movie. I really do. And you heard me say I despise the ending, and the ending almost ruins this movie for me now that I rewatch it now. And the thing with this movie, if you are a Bruce Campbell fan and you're a Bruce Campbell completist, this is a must watch. It's absolute must watch. If you don't know Bruce Campbell films, do not watch this film. You're not going to understand it. You're not going to get the jokes. You're not going to like this film.
It won't be groovy at all.
No. But if you are, then you're going to have enjoyment. You may even really love this movie. I really loved this movie at one point. I still have love for this movie, but the ending of this movie is so bad that it is tanking my my review of this film. I will still watch this film. I will still watch this film and enjoy it for what it is, for nostalgia and the throwbacks that this film has. But at the end of the day, I would rather go watch Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness. Yeah. But I don't think that me and Ryan are too far off on our ratings. I'm going to set this at a 2.3 nerds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, in retrospect, I probably at any given day it could change a little bit. I'm probably giving it a little more credit than it deserves. Maybe 2.3, 2.5, but I'll stick to my 2.75. or
A-
37, no 275. 2.
and I know it's a low rating, but if you're a Bruce Campbell fan, I still highly encourage. It's a fun movie. It's a super fun movie. It's funny. It's silly. If you can just get past the ending sucks.
Well, I think not. I don't think the ending's as bad as JP's making it. I just think that as a whole, right now, everyone thinks they are critics and movie review experts. And let's be real, if you're not Siskel and Ebert or writing for a main magazine or publication, none of us are pros. We're just all doing this for the love of it. And so we need to stop being so over analytical and sometimes just sit back and enjoy a movie. And this is one of those instances, especially if you know Bruce Campbell, sit back, enjoy it, and you'll laugh. You'll have a good time.
What he said. Film recommendations. You got any?
um, let's see. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Give me 1 second. I gotta see what I got here. All right. Yes. So as I've told everyone previously, I've been going down a down a rabbit hole on Tubi, and I'm doing Tubi reviews. And I know that's a mouthful, but the one I just watched recently is called Mega Time Squad, and this is a independent film to the fullest out of New Zealand. It's kind of a Groundhog Day scenario, but it's about a Chinese amulet. Shocker, I thought it'd correlate with this. It's more of a bracelet, and it holds the power of a deity in it. And every time you go back, you essentially make a clone of yourself using this. You press a button on this wristband, and he kept making clones of himself to get himself out of these problems. The main character, and by the time we get to a certain point, you've got. I think he had like 8 versions of himself, and then that's when this demon comes out of the bracelet and starts hunting down these clones and these replicants of himself. But again, super low budget, super fun though. Um, and I find it funny that we just talked about what JP calls the best time travel movie ever, being Time Cop. And the director of this is Tim Van Damme. so, so I found that funny and a little correlation there.
So I'm gonna recommend a movie that I completely missed that came out in 2025, and I don't know. Have you heard of this movie? It's called Dust Bunny.
Oh yeah, Mads Nicholson, one of my favorites.
Have you seen this movie?
I have not, but I've heard great things about it.
So I completely missed this movie, and this stars, like he said, it stars Mads, it stars Sigourney Weaver, it stars David Match. Have you seen him? The guy from uh, Late Night with the Devil, the main guy.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I can never
Polka
pronounce
Dot
it.
Man.
Yeah, and it's directed by Brian Fuller. So this team alone with Mads and Brian Fuller. So if I don't know if you know that team did Hannibal, the series. Now, I'm going to make a lot of you guys mad right now, but Mads is my Hannibal. He is a much better Hannibal than Anthony Hopkins.
Whoa,
I love,
whoa. Hold on.
I love the Hannibal series, and to have this same team that did the Hannibal series do this film, I don't understand how I missed it last year or this past year, but this movie is phenomenal. And it's all about this little girl hires Mad's character to kill a monster in her house. And it is it's a pretty bonkers film. And so if you've not seen it, it's called Dust Bunny. Check it out. It's amazing with an amazing cast.
So I'm going to say 2 things to follow up your recommendation. The first thing being that I love Anthony Hopkins and I love Mads Nicholson. So the thing that I'm going to say is I can't put them in one's better than the other. They're their own. They're both beautifully equipped to be Hannibal, but I can't put one over the other. I put them in the same boat. But Mads definitely delivered in that series, an excellent series. I even the ending was perfect. I loved everything about it. Now to that point though, Mads is also a big fan. I'm a big fan of his from a movie. The first time I saw him was a movie called Valhalla. Have you seen this, JP?
I have not seen Valhalla.
So Valhalla, he plays a Viking who has been caught by Christians, and he's got an oath of silence. So it's a silent role almost the entire movie. I think there's maybe one or two words said. But he is a badass in this movie. And the whole thing is they start to take him to what they thought was a certain location as a prisoner, and they end up crossing the sea, and they end up making their way into modern day America. Well, not modern day, but America back then. And they come into contact with the indigenous people, and the way that the interactions happen and the psychedelic aspects. It's just a beautifully written independent film. Highly recommend anyone check that out too.
Awesome. And me liking Mads as Hannibal more than Anthony Hopkins is that's my opinion.
No, that's fair.
I love Mads as Hannibal. I love Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal, but I have to be real. Like the Silence of the Lambs, Anthony Hopkins nails it. But a lot of what he did in the sequel, Hannibal, not so much. Yeah, as a whole, I think Mads played that character better, and he played it under a longer span than what Anthony Hopkins
Well,
did.
right. You're not filming, within a couple months. You're filming multiple seasons, so I think it's easier too to get attached to that character as it is. So that's why I can't measure the two verses, but I think they're both fucking amazing at what they did with that role.
Yeah, no, and they are. Alrighty. CineNerds podcast.
CineNerdsPodcast.com. Oh, I was going to say it with you. Come on.
1, 2, 3, go. CineNerdsPodcast.com.
CineNerdsPodcast.com.
So you check us out there. Again, like we've been talking about, invite your friends to the Facebook. Help us push our YouTube and help us push our TikTok and share everything between our Facebook, our TikTok, our YouTube. Try to help us build our followers up. That's what we're really working towards right now. We're recording this is the same day as the last week's episode. So if you've written a review or anything like that, obviously we can't read it today because we're filming the same day that we said we would do that. So that being said, write a review on Apple Podcast or Facebook, or write a review within the comment section of the video or the comment section of the Spotify episode. And we'd love to read them. We'd love to read any of this stuff. And we'd like to shout out our top people that are sharing every week. You know, if you're sharing flyers and our reels and our episodes, we want to start doing shout outs for every one of you that we see doing that. So
Cool.
Anything else?
Nope. That's it from me.
All righty. And there's also a shop. Don't forget, there's a shop. So until next week, peace out.
Cheers.